Hey, Garage Logic fans, I do a podcast on the Garage Logic Network that comes out every Wednesday and Friday now, twice a week. But here's an important caveat. There is zero logic available in my show, in the formal definition of logic. Of course, life is a yin and yang kind of thing. There's the logic side, and then there's the what the hell side, which needs to get its exercise. So come for the what the hell and stay for the you've got to be kidding me. Mishki, now Wednesdays and Fridays, twice a week.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1639. October 14th, 2025, 86 degrees, a record high on this day. That was in 1947. And it was 24 degrees on this day in 1937. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608. for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you! And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I have a letter from New York.
Out east.
It almost sounds like something from the New Yorker.
Yeah.
I have a letter from New York from a loyal GLer named Steve Mulholland who lives in the belly of the beast, Minneapolis.
Yep.
One of the few GLers in Minneapolis.
I ran into him at the airport recently.
Do I know him?
He's a big fan of the show.
No, I know. Joe, I spent a better part of 2 decades traveling to New York City 3 or 4 times a year until 2013. This past week, he says, after greeting Rookie at the airport, I got on a plane and returned to New York for the first time in 12 years. Having returned to the bosom of the Midwest yesterday, I have a few thoughts on how the big city seems to be functioning, particularly in contrast with our hometowns of Minneapolis and St. Paul. My main takeaway is this. New York cannot fail. It's too big to fail. It has too many people, too much wealth, too much driving success for it to fail. From a strictly anecdotal observation, the power of commerce, industry, and human activity is as alive and well as it has ever been. Construction is everywhere. New buildings, shops, and restaurants. Also, everyone in Manhattan is working, and if they're not working, they're on their way to work or meeting someone before work or after work. There seems to be no time for inactivity. If you slow down, you'll be run over and no one is there to help you up, nor will they apologize. At the same time, I had the sense that if anyone wanted to try something untoward, there would be a dozen New Yorkers there to thwart any kind of shenanigans. The city is still a whirlwind of human energy, which seems to constantly propel the city forward, even with a Marxist mayor waiting in the wings to bring it down. By comparison, Minnesota's biggest city seems inactive. I was in downtown Minneapolis at 5th and Marquette immediately before my flight at 7:30 in the morning on Monday. There was very little traffic. Seldom did I see anyone walking. It felt barren. And those of us who are working, going on about our lives, are left to make sense of what this city has become. Many of us, it seems, are too polite, maybe even timid, to voice. God, why does this always a problem?
I know.
To voice concerns in a public forum for fear of offending someone. We're hesitant to call out the abomination of 38th in Chicago, or the homeless encampments and empty lots across the streets from schools, or the still burned-out shell of the 3rd Precinct. You've said it before. There is a malignant idleness in our city. Too many people with nowhere to go and nothing to do. Too many people not working, not having a purpose, hanging out on street corners in front of empty buildings. Which brings us back to fixing this mess. Your guest last week, Jim Rubin, was outstanding and spot on in his assessment of where we stand. Safety is number one in the hierarchy of needs, and absence of public safety and the perception of feeling safe or unsafe will drive people away. I walked around downtown I walked around Midtown Manhattan and along Central Park past midnight, and never once did I feel a hint of a threat. It was the same New York that I experienced 12 years ago. I've always felt that the engine of business and commerce will drive the city forward. If there is opportunity to build, sell, profit, investment will occur and the city will grow. The answer to all of your questions is money. But before anyone invests in this city again, we have to gain control of public safety, perceived or otherwise. Make your city feel safe and people will come. Keep pushing back. Loyal GL listener in the belly of the beast, Liberal Lakes area of Minneapolis, Steve Mulholland. I have been going to New York City since the very early 60s.
Okay.
On a family vacation in the very early 60s when all the fireworks I bought in Canada were stripped away from me at the border crossing in Maine. We dropped down to New York City. And then I was there frequently covering sports, many times in New York. Never once, I'm agreeing with Mulholland. In all the various periods of New York that I was in New York, the one thing that didn't change was, it's just too big to fail. There might have been all kinds of peripheral problems. The farther back I go, the more you were likely to encounter somebody with a dirty wash rag trying to get a buck off you for cleaning your windshield. I mean, it was just a mess. But it's such a big teeming metropolis that it continues to survive. I think he brings up a really interesting question. Can it survive Marxism? Can New York survive Marxism? Or will the money just leave? And if the money leaves, New York probably can't fail, but it will certainly fall on desperate times, on hard times. Because Mom Donnie is already promising the free stuff. Everything's going to be free. And that's great, Mom Donnie, until you run out of other people's money. And his observations about here are correct as well. In fact, it's just breaking that Holidazzle and Acquitennial are close to, if not entirely, kaput. The Acquitennial, that's been going since the early 40s. That was Minneapolis's answer to the Winter Carnival. It was all over the news stations last night that Holidazzle and Acquitennial could be done. The Minneapolis Downtown Council says it is stepping back from putting on Holidazzle and the Acquitennial because it is harder to find sponsors for the events. The council says it will still promote festivals, but is looking for another organization to take the lead. We're not trying to pull the plug. It's more, how do these events evolve, adapt, and change, said Minneapolis Downtown Council President and CEO Adam Duinick. The council says Holidazzle has struggled since it morphed from its original nighttime parade in the early 90s to help Minneapolis compete with the Mall of America to a winter festival, first in Loring Park and most recently in Nicollet on the Nicollet Mall. The Acquitennial started in the 1940s as a civic celebration of Minneapolis. It has gone from the 10 best days of summer to a 4-day festival consisting of a torchlight parade and fireworks with but a handful of events. Even though it sounds like we're canceling something or something isn't happening, it's just going to be thought of differently and hopefully executed even better, said Duinick. Okay. The Downtown Council says Holidazzle will evolve into Winterapolis. All right. A broader campaign which will showcase a full season of events rather than a single one.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
There's a lesson to be learned here, and Minneapolis is not alone. And this is just a theorem. Wherever the left presides, particularly the DSA arm of radical leftism, the conventional traditions that you were accustomed to will disappear. They have no place in the DSA's view of America, which they hold in suspicion, if not anger and contempt. The more you are governed, the closer you get to the tallest buildings, the more you are governed by the extreme left, the more you will see the disappearance of age-old customs, festivals, and traditions. And there's a variety of reasons for that. One, they were just old white people's events. That's one. Two, the citizenry has become too dispersed in its entertainment, in seeking entertainment. Back in the days, I bet if you went back to the 40s, the 30s, 40s, and early 50s, Acquitennial was a big, big deal because there weren't many big deals taking place. So therefore, it was a big deal. Same with the Winter Carnival. As time has marched on, and the liberal activism has taken over our political offices, those events disappear, and they were fated to disappear in Minneapolis. I'm sure the Winter Carnival is hanging on by a thread. Yeah. And will ultimately disappear and be replaced with something called, Rice Park Winter Folly Weekend or something. It's just, it's ending.
Questions for you, coming from a place of ignorance. I don't know. Your dad was involved with others in the Winter Carnival, was he not?
Yeah.
In some degree?
Yeah.
And would you consider your dad either one of or on the periphery of what you have called the good old boy network?
Oh, yeah.
Used to get,
I'd say periphery.
Get things done. My question is about that group. What was the political makeup of those folks? Was it nonpartisan or was it conservative, DFL? What do you remember? Do you know?
Well, that's an interesting question. He's been gone since 1988. He didn't live long. Yeah. Life was too hard as a Vulcan. It took its toll. That's a great question. I don't recall being brought up with any sense of politics playing a great role in our family upbringing. There just wasn't any. I'm sure they went crazy for a Catholic president, JFK. But my old man would have been a conventional Republican voter, I would imagine. He held a city council seat or a village council in Matamita. He was active. But I do not politics did not have the impact on life that it does today.
And to back that up, my grandpa was in his 90s when he died in 98. The three things I remember him telling me over and over, he would say the three things you don't talk about or bring up to another person: politics, religion, and how much money they or you make. Did that hold true in your family?
Yeah, and it's still wise counsel, although it's not followed.
Yeah, it's
still wise counsel, and it's been ignored.
So back to the celebrations now and how they're diminishing and fading away. Do you think it might be due in part to they're just competing with so many other things that are happening now in 2025 that weren't happening in, say, the 70s and 80s, 60s?
Yeah, I alluded to that. When they were in their heyday, they were having a heyday because there weren't any options.
Yeah.
There just weren't any options. And today, of course, there are many options. Every neighborhood in town has a festival.
Yeah.
That's why it's all the more the miracle that the state fair continues to work.
It really is. Yeah. But I know, at least in my family, the Acquitennial was a big, big, big thing for my family.
Oh, my God. In both the Winter Carnival and the Acquitennial, the parades were televised.
Yeah. Can you imagine the Winter Carnival now building an ice sculpture the way they did? I was only at 3 ice palaces, and I was blown away by each one of them.
Yeah, there hasn't been one for, I suppose, 30 years? I don't see that coming back. And I perfectly understand the reasons why these events are going away. As I said, it's a combination of many things. It's not just the leftist politics, but that is not even a driving force. That is the background for why they're fading away, because they're the modern, Robin Wansley doesn't know what the Acquitennial is. And Mitra Jalali did not know what the Winter Carnival was. And so they have no interest whatsoever in that.
No. But they do love the ironically named Open Streets celebration where they close the streets. They love that one.
You did leave out that your dad didn't like the Ayatollah.
Yeah.
Like, you left it out of the book, too.
I would have made some money.
Yeah, would have made some money.
Yeah. No, but here's there's a lot of good reasons why those festivals opened up. Back in 1960, a bunch of guys sitting at a table at the St. Paul Athletic Club looked at each other and said, "You guys be the king people this year. We'll be the bad people." And the next year was, "Why don't you guys try the king thing this year? We'll be the bad people." And it was just an insider deal. That needed to be changed dramatically, and it was. But even given the changes, it can't survive a political energy that is not at all interested in what that celebration used to be.
Not to mention the money.
Yeah, it's just not there.
Back when you were a young beatnik, did you and your buddies look forward to the Winter Carnival, the Acquitennial, with anticipation?
Not a bit. Not a bit.
We looked forward to the Winter Carnival, but the Acquitennial, just because we were on the St. Paul side, I knew of it, but I never attended as a young kid.
But remember this. For the first half of my working life, I was in Minneapolis. So the carnival really didn't. The minute I joined the St. Paul paper, I did become a fan of the Winter Carnival. Once I was firmly ensconced in St. Paul's, where I always lived, even when I worked in Minneapolis. But once I came back to St. Paul to work at the paper, I was 100% gung-ho on the Winter Carnival. I participated.
So much so that you never became a Vulcan.
I didn't ever want to. I don't
Vulcan
think,
for a day would still be fun.
I did that 100 times.
That whole concept to me, were they like eating peyote there, or what? Where did that come from?
What, the Vulcans?
That whole
the whole Winter Carnival is based on a fictional
alcohol, right?
Fictional legend.
But who came up with it?
A guy who worked
secrecy.
No. You can look it up. The guy who wrote for the newspapers in the 1880s came up with this legend.
Who are the Vulcans?
And it was begun to impress people on the East Coast that, yes, we survive here in the winter. So it was a way to tell the people of Boston and New York. And they got James J. Hill involved and all these big hitters that funded the thing. And they would build magnificent ice castles. And the pictures of that would appear back east. And people began to realize those people are actually alive in the Twin Cities.
Meanwhile, Astor's looking at Rockefeller with the paper open going, look at these rooms.
Yeah.
Look at Hill.
Look what Jimmy Hill has
Look
to
what
deal
Jim
with.
Hill's doing. What the hell is he doing? But it's all going to go away because, but this gets back to the mystery, too, because many of the conventions and traditions of America are not held in respect by the DSA. They're just not. Mom Donnie in New York, I don't think is going to give a bleep about any of the traditions in New York, although what'll happen? New York is so big and so bustling that until he ruins it, all those things will still take place.
Right.
He won't be able to kill it, but he'll do his best. That's really going to be an interesting but sad experiment to watch. What happens to New York with a Marxist mayor?
And you mean like the changes that he'll try? Will they resist changes, or will they just go with the flow, not paying attention, like we're doing here? New Yorkers are smarter than that, aren't they?
I gotta sense some resistance.
But look at the influence that Giuliani had over New York. I was there before and after Giuliani, and I was shocked at the changes that happened.
Well,
he did a
cleaned it
wonderful
up.
job.
Yeah, he cleaned it up.
I mean,
Maybe
he made 42nd Street boring.
Maybe Mondani will have his acceptance speech at the Four Seasons to honor Giuliani.
Where was I reading? Is it Anissa Presley, one of the legislators, one of the Congress people? And was it? Help me, Anissa Presley. She's one of these ones who always apologizes for standing on stolen land. She has about a $2 million place on Martha's Vineyard. I think Indians might have occupied Martha's Vineyard at one point, and I think Presley should give her damn house away. Why don't these hypocrites shut up unless they give their Ayanna Presley?
Ayanna Presley.
Where's she from?
She is the U.S. representative for Massachusetts, 7th Congressional District.
She's a lying hypocrite.
She's got the shaved head, too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, again, I should preface, I don't know if that's a medical situation.
I don't think it is.
Well,
I think it's a statement.
I'm just trying to protect myself and the show.
Get ready for winter and get your garage door fixed before the winter shuts you down. If you need a new door, turn to Precision Garage Doors. They have models of new doors for every budget. That'll increase the value of your home. It'll save energy. It provides better security. If you love your current door, but she's starting to act up, making some strange noises, go to Precision Garage Door for a noisy door tune-up special. $149. It's about a $300 value. You get a 25-point safety inspection. Tell them to lube it up too, so it doesn't make so much racket on the wheels. They'll take care of all that stuff. And right now, if you get the new door, $100 off a single door for GLers and $200 off a double door for GLers. Book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate, or book a noisy door tune-up special with Precision Door.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
Scorching hot guitar. Say, let's go back a week when I ordered a pound of French roast ground coffee from customroasting.net. That happened last Monday. Couldn't believe how fast I received it. I had it in my hands later the next day, Tuesday afternoon. And good thing, too, because I needed it on Wednesday morning. You know what? Can I break the fourth wall here for a second and talk to you just like off-air Kenny would talk to you?
Yeah.
I also got a bag of Italian roast. Wow. Absolutely incredible. That's what I'm drinking today, and I really, really love it. I think it might be giving the French roast a run for its money. Anyway, back to what I wanted to say, my prepared remarks. Call Custom Roasting. Here's the number. Write it down. Or, you know what? Fact check me. Go to the website.
Does it have hints of Alfa Romeo?
I don't know. It has hints of something. You know what? I'm going to go with that. That would make sense. Anyway, phone number 763-682-4604. Or just do like the young among us do and go to the website, customroasting.net. While you're there, there's a couple, three things I would like you to look for. Number one, if you want to do like I do and finish your Christmas shopping today order a gift box. Custom Roasting, they really know what's up. They've put a bag of French roast and a bag of Minnesota Morning into a really nifty custom gift box, and it's perfect for anyone who loves coffee in your friends, your family, your circle. Super easy way to shop. I'm done with my Christmas shopping. Number 2, the fundraising program. This is really neat. Now, instead of the typical candy bars, magazines, or cookies, have the charity you're involved with sell coffee from Custom Roasting. They've been doing this for years. They've got the perfect order forms and a variety of flavors to choose from. It's really slick. And then, of course, the third item on my customroasting.net agenda, the GL Starter Pack, of course. Custom Roasting, they've put together a package that includes the Minnesota Morning, the Boundary Waters Blend, Columbia Excelso, and French Roast. I've had all 3 and now the Italian Roast, and they're absolutely wonderful. Just click on the Garage Logic tab when you go to customroasting.net.
Conviction number 57 in the Feeding Our Future trial.
Come on down.
Yeah, come on down. Abdi Wahab Ahmed Mohamud pled guilty to 2 felony counts yesterday in federal court. Defendant number 25 in the Feeding Our Future case, Mohamud became the 57th individual convicted in the food fraud scandal. He is the 50th defendant to plead guilty in the case. Why do we say it's conviction number 57 then? This is a Bill Glahn piece, American Experiment. Mohamud, now age 35, had a Somali language interpreter on hand to assist in yesterday's hearing before U.S. Judge Nancy Brazel. His Friday afternoon guilty plea came just in the nick of time as he was scheduled to start trial beginning Tuesday morning after the Monday holiday in that same courtroom. Mohamud was the 8th and final member of the S&S catering group of defendants to plead guilty. He fraudulently applied for COVID-era small business loans through Hennepin County in addition to the food fraud. No sentencing has been established yet. I always am anxious to see how many kids he fed. We don't see that one.
I think I heard John do this story yesterday.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, that was my lead actually yesterday.
And
I
was actually shocked that he just turned around and said, "All right, you got me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was he from Delano, or where was he from?
Delano. Oh, I get it.
I get it.
He's from Somalia.
Oh,
Got it.
Interesting.
He doesn't come from the Iron Range.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Speaking of fraud, we are the fraud capital of the world. We might as well celebrate.
Let's own it.
Let's be proud of it.
Our new state flag.
Well, a guy sent me an email with some documentation. John writes, Joe, I'm a small contractor and I carry a builder's license with the state. They sent me this email, and he included it. I can't fathom how this is going to be implemented. Looks like another way to give our money away. We are in construction, apparently, because we all have some sort of mental illness. Leave us alone. His name is John Otto, and he says, not related to Joel Otto and the hockey player, that Otto guy who has a silver tongue, or Jim Otto, the best center to ever play pro football. I'm just a nail bender on the west side. Well, what he linked me to was the document from the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry Construction Codes and Licensing Division. Construction workers face some of the highest rates of suicide and mental health challenges in any industry. Let me stop right there. I bet they're sending this out to every kind of industry, and they're saying the same thing.
I know it's a problem among farmers, too.
Long hours, physically demanding work, and job site stress can take a serious toll on mental well-being. To address this urgent issue, the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry is now accepting applications. Oh, this has fraud written. I wonder how many Somali construction businesses were invented today. We're now accepting applications for the Mental Health Support in Construction Grant. up to $750,000. Oh, the Somalis won't fool with this. It's only $750,000 in total funding.
Oh, that's nothing.
It's like a part-time job.
Not enough. Mere child's play.
That's nothing. In total, funding is available to support outreach, education, and worksite strategies that promote mental health and prevent suicide in Minnesota's construction industry. This grant is designed to help organizations reduce stigma. I've been dealing with construction companies all my life in one fashion or another. I've never encountered any of this. If you're going to say this about the construction industry, why isn't this true about any industry? I'm calling B as in B, S as in S.
750.
They just keep inventing ways to blow our money.
Right.
I told you guys about 5 years ago, maybe it's getting to be. I said, you watch. Mental health issues are going to become a huge, huge deal in the state. And now, in many cases, they should be, right? But I said the word right. In many cases, they should be. But in many cases, this is just another way for this state to distribute money. I guarantee you somebody's going to try to get some of this dough, and they're not on the up and up.
Go ahead, Ken.
I'm on the Department of Labor and Industry, their page dedicated to this, and you have to exhibit that you have a way to spend this, but they don't nail down what that program should be.
Okay, now you're onto something. This could be another test. Are you people in the Department of Labor and Industry, Construction Codes and Licensing Bureau, are you going to vet the people who apply for the money? Because we now know that hasn't been done in this state.
How do they not now?
How are you not going to vet the people that say, if you send me $250,000, I can really do some good work for the Acme Carpenter company?
The state has a vetting program. First, they list their objective. I don't know if you read this or not while I was looking for it. The purpose of this grant is to create outreach and engagement programming and develop resources and worksite strategies to promote mental health and prevent suicide in the industry. Mm-hmm. You have to meet some qualifications. The applicants. You
have to be in good standing with the IRS and the Minnesota Secretary of State. And you have to demonstrate the ability to implement programming that supports construction workers statewide.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you going to vet that state?
So then I bopped over to the Google. An estimated 6,000 construction workers died by suicide in 2022.
In this state?
No. This would be a national number. 5 to 6 times the number of annual on-site construction fatalities.
How many people committed suicide in the insurance industry? Google that, just for fun.
Me?
Yeah, it's not a fun statistic.
Just for fun. Hang on.
Because
No, but this is BS. You can do this for any job in the world.
Well, I'm going to do farming instead.
Well, we know farming is fraught with misery. They're giving the money out until you can start applying now, and then they give the money out on December 31st. The grant recipients will be announced, and then Feb 1, 2026 to December 31st, 2027, grant period of performance, whatever that means.
A 2020 study using 2016 data. Is it data or data? 43.7 deaths per 100,000, sixth highest among occupational groups.
Is construction in the 6 highest occupational groups?
I don't remember. I just read it to you out loud.
Because here's the deal. It's 750 today. And they'll figure out a way to screw you out another 750.
Yeah.
And this will be 1.5 next year.
They'll add it on, right?
Yeah.
Construction was 56 per 100,000 in 2021.
That's more than farming.
I don't know. I'm a big... As long as the money is used correctly, I don't know if I have a problem with this, Joe. I'm big on the mental health.
That's fine. The problem is, will it be used correctly?
Yeah, exactly.
This state is nothing but fraud. No matter
Especially,
what program gets invented, we'll fill up an office space with a company that'll take the money.
Why did somebody think that was needed?
Because
Well, I think the need for it, Matthew, is there, but I think, like Joe said, it's going to be fraudy.
it feels fraudy.
Yeah.
It smells fraudy.
Yeah.
It looks fraudy.
If it smells like a fraud,
It walks
you
like a
heard-
fraud.
You heard my rant last week. More mental health money. That's my.
That's fine. I said in my rant, I said mental health aid can be very useful in many places. We need it, but they're gonna overcorrect. They're gonna make it available and for anything you can dream up. Because what if we can combine this with our observation that we are already creating diagnoses for people who avoid personal responsibility. You can come up with anything you want. We got the money
you
for
got
you.
cash sitting in a drawer.
Bloomington just spent $1 million of your money to remodel a can. That's what I call bathroom.
Okay.
The city of Bloomington has completed a nearly $1 million restroom remodel at City Hall. Where do you think that money came from?
Well, government doesn't make money.
It came from the government, but they don't have any money. That was your money. But under what rubric did they consider this money?
General fund.
COVID money. It was COVID. That's where I wanted my COVID money
Got
to
it.
go
That's
to.
what was
Clean up the
supposed to go.
can in Bloomington. The new restroom is bright, open, and modern. It has 11 stalls.
11?
Yeah, what would the middle one be if you have 11?
5 or 6.
It'd be 5 or 6.
Do the partitions go all the way to the floor?
That's the key.
what I
For
wanna
$1 million,
know.
they better. And it's got sensor-operated sinks.
If you ask that
That's
question,
high-tech.
what was the middle stall for here at Hubbard, it would be occupied.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't like the guy that uses the middle
Any
stall.
mention in that article about glory holes?
On each, no, but Kenny, get this. On each door, a green light indicates the stall is vacant, and the light
Nice.
turns red when it's occupied.
You know what I would
Wow.
like? I would like that light on the outside of the door, because that restroom at HBI that you guys keep referring to, if I walk in there and I see 3 sets of legs, even if I don't need to be in that part of the bathroom, I turn tail and get the hell out.
Get out right away.
Can't deal with the sound
Get out
effects.
while you can.
Could I interrupt for a minute, just because the math thing drives me nuts? The middle stall, obviously, in 11 would be the 6th stall.
Oh, obviously?
5. Well, 1 through 5 is 5. 6 through 11 is 5 more. It's just like if you
Obviously,
have 3 stalls, Kenny,
John.
what's the middle one?
Obviously, John.
Wow.
One.
Jeez.
You. Mark Maron.
I
Yeah,
I feel
Mark
better,
Maron.
John. I feel better.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
John. Oh, John.
The city council approved spending. The city council approved spending $980,000 in federal COVID-19 relief dollars from the American Rescue Plan. Asked what is the best use of that money, Mayor Bussey, whoever that is, I guess the Bloomington mayor, said part of the American Rescue Plan funds were set aside for facilities and infrastructure renovation, and we decided to use it on this facility. See, these mayors in places like Bloomington, they're between a rock and a hard place. If they take a stand and say, we're not wasting your money, that was COVID money. It has no place fixing our bathroom. Well, they won't take that stand because if he doesn't take the money,
Okay.
the mayor of Rochester will.
Thank you. I was about to initiate the Jesse the body response.
The reason
Theory.
the reason you have light rail in Minnesota is Jesse Ventura's fault. He took the money because I think it was
$1 billion bucks. I think
it was the city of St. Louis that was destined to get the money if Minnesota didn't take it. So he wasn't letting that go.
You're right.
I mean,
You're
how,
spot on.
I know for a fact I am. He said, I'll probably be able to drive my car on the freeway by myself
only guy
because
out
everybody
there.
will be in the train.
Yep.
Okay, so now that theory.
Jesse, I know you don't listen, but I know you're listening. Jesse, you're the reason we have light rail.
Why didn't you ask me a long time ago?
Because you wouldn't be honest with me.
It's our money.
No.
It is, too. The government
you could have
gave it
taken,
to us.
sir, you could have taken a stand.
You know how much reefer that would have bought?
Well, I don't know that has anything to do with it, sir, but all I'm saying is when you saw that somebody else would get the money, you saw it in a brown paper bag being handed to somebody in Missouri, and you took it.
A silver briefcase.
Yeah. And then how much did he have
handcuff.
to spend? How much did he have to spend on top of that bag of money?
You know, the one thing I'll say about you, though, Mr. Governor?
Yes.
I don't think you took any for your own pocket.
I didn't.
I know you did.
Because everything else I touch turns to gold.
That's right.
You know?
Didn't you fight Bob Backlund at the Spectrum?
Yeah, with a polar bear femur.
Now you're stealing somebody else's
And then
bit.
I rode light rail, and it smelled like marijuana. So I stayed for a couple stops. You know, I didn't feel anything.
All I know is you are the reason we have a green line and a red line and a
yes, you're welcome.
blue line and all this other BS that you had to. You just saw that bag of cash there and you couldn't keep your eyes off it.
You know, on another topic, I don't listen to the podcast, but yesterday when you were talking about Cockwomble, you were spot on.
Thank you. I know you don't listen.
I'm going to go back to not listening.
All right. Thank you, sir. Goodbye. Let me tell you something.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Along the same lines, do any of your wives buy something that was on sale and then tell you how much money they saved by buying it on sale?
Right there.
Yep.
It's a garage
Kidding
logic.
me? I have a PhD in this.
Now, do you come back and say, imagine the money you would have saved if you wouldn't have bought it at all?
In the first place.
Yeah.
No, I'm often shown a series of price tags.
So am I.
Look what this was. Look what it is there. Look what I got it for.
So I had a $5 off coupon. Then I had my employee discount, and then it was marked down. And I spent 75 cents on this brand new.
Yeah, I got an entire wardrobe for $1.50.
All right. Sorry, ladies. I had to get that in.
Say, be careful driving. We're entering that season of slipping and sliding, and Bradshaw and Bryant personal injury attorneys are the people who will help you if you're ever involved in an accident, because insurance companies and adjusters can be tough to deal with. You need a team. That's where Mike Bryant comes in. Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant will explain your rights, represent you, and help you through a difficult time. Mike is a super lawyer. That's according to Minnesota law and politics, which is the Bible for determining such things. Bradshaw and Bryant hopes you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Your case evaluation doesn't cost you a thing. And please don't be part of the problem. Bradshaw and Bryant says, please don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
This is very John Mayer
Have you
like.
heard this one before?
I want to talk to you about
listen to this
Awaken180weightloss.com. It's a website that you go to because if you want to have better health and lose some weight and feel better about yourself and your lifestyle, I cannot recommend my friends at Awaken180weightloss.com highly enough. That's 180, by the way. Or call them at 844-346-1800. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's a proven weight loss solution that's worked for over 800,000 people, and it's a weight loss program built for anyone. There's no medications. There's no workouts that are required. There's no fasting. You eat to lose weight, and it's a clear daily plan. There's no complicated tracking or counting. You get this really easy to use and convenient app on your phone. It's really, really simple. And you get one-on-one weekly coaching for accountability and also for adjustments. And your coach can even help you pick out restaurant menu items. Last night, I had cream of mushroom soup. Oh my goodness gracious, it was so good. And you know what? It's not diet food. These are thousands of recipes. So that way meals just feel like something you would make on your own. You can still go on vacation. You can still go out. You can still tailgate. You can still have drinks. You can still talk when you know the microphone's on. And it's a lifestyle built for anyone. Again, awaken180weightloss.com or 844-346-1800. Please do me a favor and mention that Rookie and Joe talked about it on the Garage Logic podcast. John?
Heidt.
John, go ahead.
Yeah, John Heidt, right here.
Okay, thanks, fellas.
Yeah.
I think I get the impression before the show's over, Chris may kill us all.
No.
No, I think
not
he's
at all.
fine.
Oh, he's pretty thick-skinned.
Just trying to save your guys' jobs, but, don't worry about me.
Appreciate it.
This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. A St. Paul Police Department employee is on administrative leave after nearly 10 pounds of methamphetamine, more than 1.5 pounds of fentanyl, and several weapons were recovered from his home. Court records show that 34-year-old Jamond Leroy Glass was charged on Monday, and the charges involve one count of first-degree drug possession. Minneapolis Airport Police contacted Washington County detectives on Friday after finding a large package of suspected meth. The package, which the complaint said was addressed to a K. Wilson at a home on Cobble Hill Court in Woodbury, tested positive for meth. The complaint says law enforcement delivered the package to the address and surveilled as Glass picked up the package from outside the home and took it inside. A subsequent search of the home uncovered a large amount of drugs, the complaint says, in addition to firearms and ammunition. Law enforcement found a KAHR pistol, a loaded .40 caliber magazine, and a Springfield XD-40 with a partially loaded magazine, along with 9.5 pounds of meth, 1.68 pounds of fentanyl, and 10.5 grams of cocaine. Glass is employed with the police department as a community engagement specialist, according to a spokesman. He's currently on administrative leave. A St. Paul Police Department spokesperson added, "We are aware of the charges that were filed and take these matters seriously. The employee has since been placed on leave due to the open investigation. We do not have any further comment."
That was a good hiding place at his home.
Glass is due in court on December 1st for an omnibus hearing. We told you last week foreclosures were up in the U.S., and that is holding true in parts of the Twin Cities, too. That national data we told you about said foreclosure filings were up 17%, according to Realtor.com. NeighborWorks Home Partners is a nonprofit that helps people buy, fix, and keep their homes. They say pre-closure notices in St. Paul have doubled in the past year, going from 600 to more than 1,200 at this point in St. Paul. Beth Heiser is Chief Program Officer at NeighborWorks. She says if you are worried you could be at risk or even worried you might miss a payment, you should start working with a housing counselor as soon as possible. She says they can help you in a variety of ways, from helping you freeze a payment to taking to a loan servicer to help you finding more affordable assurance on your house.
Have you seen the photograph that Trump is complaining about? Apparently he's going to make the cover of Time magazine for his efforts in the Middle East. He's complaining because it looks like he doesn't have any hair.
Yeah.
But you know who he looks like? Vaguely like Jimmy Carter in that photo. Very interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the one where he's looking up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks a little bit like...
Yeah, I can see
See
Carter
it? See
there.
it, man?
Yes.
See it?
Yeah.
See it?
And it does look like he doesn't have any hair.
Right, and he's very angry about that.
He's not happy. He says, "I hate pictures taken from below." He said, but this one's really bad.
Yeah, because it makes him look,
He's got the neck folds, too,
old.
Star Tribune reporting investigators are now saying that alcohol was not a factor in that rollover crash of a fire truck in southwestern Minnesota that left a firefighter riding along dead. The crash occurred September 26th in Wood Lake while the town's fire department was taking part in Lakeview High School's annual homecoming festivities. Rescue crews found Patrick Stephen Remiger trapped beneath the truck when they arrived. He died at the scene. The driver, Andrew Van Heck, and passenger Bo, his 6-year-old son, were injured, released from the hospital. State Patrol initially had said it was believed Van Heck was under the influence of alcohol when the truck crashed on its way back to Wood Lake. Police in nearby Marshall, after getting court permission, collected a sample of Van Heck's blood while he was being treated for his injuries at a hospital in that city. Patrol Sergeant Troy Christensen said Monday that we received the blood results on Friday and no alcohol was detected. Christensen declined to say whether they thought Van Eck was under the influence of a drug at the time. He also would not address whether distracted driving may have played a role. Van Heck was driving the truck north on 490th Street, just north of Cottonwood, when it veered into the right shoulder, hit a mailbox, overcorrected, and rolled several times. Several 12-ounce cans of beer were located close to the fire truck, according to the original affidavit. No one in the truck had on restraint devices, according to the State Patrol. A driver with a history of driving offenses was high on a cocktail of illicit drugs when he caused a collision at a Minnesota intersection that seriously injured his 3 children in his pickup truck and killed the other motorist. 41-year-old Corey Olson of Cambridge was charged in Pine County District Court last week with 1 count each of criminal vehicular homicide and driving under the influence of drugs, 6 counts of criminal vehicular operation connection with the crash that killed 62-year-old Cameron Lee Ellis of Hinckley. Court records in Minnesota show that Olson's driving history includes 2 convictions for drunken driving, 2 for driving on a suspended license, 1 each for speeding, having open liquor in a vehicle, and failure to obey a stop sign, and 4 times for seatbelt violations. At the time of the crash, Olson was under restrictions that would invalidate his license if he was caught driving with any use of alcohol or drugs. White Bear Lake Area School Superintendent publicly addressing that fraudulent enrollment of a 22-year-old man for the first time. And while that was going on, they continued to refuse a request from our friends at 5 Eyewitness News for an interview. In a packed school board meeting with enough people to require an overflow room, public comment was split down the middle. The district reports 22-year-old Kevin Lubke used a fake identity and documents to enroll, adding that they used their usual enrollment process, which the district says is as rigorous as state law allows. According to a search warrant, police were told several girls said the 22-year-old talked to them through texting and social media. Investigators searched Lubke's phone for evidence of criminal sexual conduct, soliciting a minor, and child pornography, according to the affidavit. It was a room divided last night, with public comment divided on how the district handled it. One person said, "I want to thank both Superintendent Kosmachuk and Principal Reitz for their swift action, full transparency, and cooperation." That didn't hold for everybody, though. Joshua Wickander said it was exactly the opposite, saying, "I've become frustrated with transparency, frustrated with accountability, and frustrated with not wanting to hear opinions that differ from yours." During the superintendent report portion of the meeting, Dr. Wayne Kosmachuk addressed the issue briefly and reaffirmed their work, saying, "I want families and community members to know that we have carefully reviewed the procedures and are confident our processes are as strong as they can be."
This guy had one thing on his mind, which is why he was trying to enroll.
Oh, with that sports?
No. No. He's a
What's
creep.
weird is this could have been a Disney movie in the 70s.
I think, or an after-school special.
It could.
Yeah.
And the kid would have been the hero.
Oh, yeah. Football star.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a quick break and hear from our friend, Mr. Kenny Olson.
Sitting here, have you guys ever worked your way into a conversational corner without actually saying anything? That's where I'm at in my mind right now, thinking about Seafoam. Didn't actually use any over the weekend, but I managed to reap the benefits of Seafoam over the weekend and right now and always. And I feel myself struggling to get out of this conversational corner. Here's what I'm thinking. So I poured some in one of my trucks a couple weeks ago, and it's running fantastic right now. So I didn't actually use any lately, but I am using it, right? I didn't use it, but I am using it. Deep Creep, maybe you sprayed down some tools a few weeks ago and got them working and operational and everything's fine. So you're not using it now, but you are reaping the benefits. So actually you are using it now.
Huh?
Yeah, I know.
I think you just walked into another audio corner there.
This is ill-advised.
You leave your tools outside?
In this case, they were in a shed that had a leaky roof.
I see.
Yeah. Is it roof or roof?
Roof is fine.
The only thing I can say with certainty is I have not, and you probably haven't used any Bugs Be Gone lately, but here's the deal. Don't take it out of the vehicle quite yet. You never know when it's going to hit 85 again. I tell you what, I'll let you know when it's safe to take the Bugs Be Gone out of your vehicle. Of course, what I'm getting to here is the big three from Seafoam, the big three that all GLers should have on hand for general use and, of course, in times of emergency. Deep Creep, Bugs Be Gone, and of course the engine treatment. And don't just buy one can of those things. Buy 2 or 3 because you're going to need them down the road. It's really truly proof that Seafoam has our backs and that they are a miracle worker in times of trouble. We love them. Seafoam. There you go. That's it.
Good recovery. Let's hit it.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life.
Can you bring that
Joe
up when you're done?
Souchere.
No, but I'll let you listen to it now before I do my ad.
Put your arms down there, Beatnik.
Wish I had a bit lighter.
North American Banking Company, the official banker here in Garage Logic. They've been at it since 1998, and way back when they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers where you know your banker and they know you. And while a lot has changed here in the Twin Cities since then, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities, well, that has not. And they are locally owned and operated. Here's why that's important.
Why?
That means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this helps all of you business owners solve problems quickly and also expand your business with confidence. And you know what? You can check them out online today for yourself. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. It doesn't matter whether you're looking to buy a home, maybe finance a new home renovation project, or perhaps get that new car that you've been dreaming about. They will be able to help you out. So once again, visit them online, nabankco.com to learn more. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Johnny?
Thank you, Chris. The ceasefire in the Israeli-Hamas war holding today, even as the return of deceased hostages from Gaza progressed more slowly than Israelis had hoped. A day earlier, Israelis celebrated the return of the last 20 living hostages in Gaza, and Palestinians rejoiced at Israel's release of some 2,000 prisoners and detainees as part of the ceasefire's first phase. But now attention in Israel has turned to when Hamas will return all the bodies of hostages who died in captivity. Well, Israeli officials understood there could be some delay in the recovery effort. The families of hostages and their supporters expressed dismay that only 4 of 28 bodies were returned yesterday. The Hostages Family Forum, a grassroots organization representing many of the hostage families, called it a blatant violation of the agreement by Hamas. The top official in Israel coordinating the return of hostages and the missing, Gal Hirsch, told the families in a note that pressure was being applied on Hamas through international mediators to expedite the process. President Trump expected to meet with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky at the White House on Friday. The two will discuss what weapons should be supplied to Ukraine, specifically if the U.S. should provide game-changing long-range Tomahawk missiles to the war-torn country. Ukraine theoretically could use the long-range Tomahawks to strike inside Russia. Russian President Vladimir Putin has cautioned the U.S. against supplying the weapons, saying this month that it would qualitatively be a new stage of escalation, including in relations between Russia and the U.S. President Trump hosting Javier Milei, the leader of Argentina, at the White House today, just days after the U.S. agreed to move ahead with a major $20 billion bailout of the Latin American nation. The face-to-face meeting between the political allies comes after the Trump administration agreed to give Argentina a $20 billion lifeline that would come in the form of currency swap with the nation's central bank, according to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. The details of the bailout remain unclear, but it could provide a political boost for for Malai, who's hoping to stave off a financial crisis and a political disaster for his party in the country. Major hedge funds, including those led by friends of Bessent, could benefit financially from the administration's lifeline, and that's causing some controversy. Funds at various investment firms, including BlackRock, Fidelity, and PIMCO, are heavily invested in Argentina, as are investors who worked with Bessent when he was an investor working for George Soros. American farmers have also criticized the move, given that China has been buying soybeans from Argentinian farmers instead of American growers this year.
You know, I heard something yesterday that was another clue to me that we are really saps in this country. We have no idea what they're up to in the government. The third rail is. I happen to believe the military should be paid, and they're going to be, and they're going to be paid during the shutdown because the Pentagon found $8 billion in unused research funds. Now, I said to myself, wait a minute. What drawer was that in? You got $8 billion of research funds that you haven't been using. We're supposed to believe, I guess, that they haven't used it yet for research, but it's everything they come up with BS.
That's tough to miss $8 billion on the ledger, is what
$8
you're saying.
billion.
Right. So there were finger quotes around the found.
I think we found $8 billion.
We found.
We didn't use it yet for research.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Really?
It's all a game. It's just a giant game.
Oh, look, fellas, I got $8 billion in my drawer
I found
here.
we can pay you now. I found $8 billion.
It's like when you put your winter jacket away for the year, and
you
then
find
go
a
in,
fiver.
and you go in and for the next winter, and I got some money in here.
But they found $8 billion.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
This whole shutdown, the more I read about it, the more it's just infighting with parties and then parties fighting parties, and nobody really giving a rat's ass about us.
That's exactly what it is.
Yep. Yeah.
Both parties are fighting with each other just because they want to.
Yeah, and nobody's mentioning us out here. Hello,
Exactly.
we voted for you, jackasses.
Joe, I was watching a news clip that cited that very thing you just brought up, and then the very next story was the fact that 150,000 federal employees, and I believe 50,000 work directly with the IRS, owe back taxes.
Oh, boy.
Jeez, really?
In essence of, I'm trying to find it, but it's almost in excess of $1 billion in back taxes.
You know what? Even if that's not true, in my mind, it is true.
I'm going to try to find
exactly.
the story. I'm going to try to find the story.
Even if it's not true, I'll be repeating that story.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm using that one, Reavers.
Most of the nation's leading news organizations have said they will not sign a policy that restricts journalists' access to the Pentagon ahead of an afternoon deadline today set by the Trump administration. Outlets including the New York Times, Washington Post, Associated Press, The Hill, News Nation, and Newsmax will not sign the policy which limits access for reporters who are credentialed to work in the Pentagon. The Pentagon Press Association said in a forceful statement last week that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and his department are trying to, in their words, stifle a free press with this new policy. Only one media outlet right now, pro-Trump conservative network One America News, has said it will sign the Pentagon's new policy. The other conservative network, Newsmax, has said it will not sign, saying the restrictions aren't necessary. Hegseth, for his part, mocked outlets that have said they'll not sign the policy, posting emojis waving goodbye on social media in response to the outlets.
Let's go to Capitol Hill, shall we?
Yes.
While most Americans had to write a big fat check to the government today to pay their taxes, over 100,000 federal workers are not paying their taxes. In 2021, the IRS found that almost 150,000 federal workers owe about $1.5 billion in unpaid taxes. Over 5,000 of them work at the IRS and owe $50 million in overdue taxes. Even though the IRS can fire its workers that are not paying their taxes, only 20 people have been terminated. That double standard is something Senator Joni Ernst, Senate Doge Caucus Chair, wants to stop. She's introducing several bills aimed at cleaning up the IRS. One bill would require IRS employees to be audited every year and fired if they don't pay their taxes. But while the IRS is not catching the tax cheats on their own payroll, they are busy arming their workforce. Ernst is also calling out 10 million taxpayer dollars the IRS has spent on guns and ammo, stockpiling 4,500 guns, 5 million rounds of ammo, even 15 machine guns.
Oh, the IRS is just like me.
Yeah.
Stocking up.
Chris, obviously you don't understand the meaning of employee discount. This is just part of the benefits for working for the IRS.
It's like when we used to get Twins tickets.
You be one day late. See what happens.
Trust me.
Especially with the Minnesota Department of Revenue. The IRS is way more forgiving than the Department of Revenue.
Plus, they got
Minnesota.
guns. What are you going to do?
Yeah, a lot of guns, obviously.
$1.5 billion in unpaid taxes.
The Supreme Court this morning rejecting an appeal from Alex Jones left in place the $1.4 billion judgment against him over his description of the 2012 Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting as a hoax staged by crisis actors. The InfoWars host had argued that a judge was wrong to find him liable for defamation and infliction of emotional distress without holding a trial on the merits of allegations lodged by relatives of the victims of the shooting.
No, Alex, you caused those problems, believe me.
The justices did not comment on the order, which they issued without even asking the families of the Sandy Hook victims to respond to the appeal. An FBI agent who responded to the shooting had also sued Jones. Jones filed for bankruptcy in late 2022. His lawyers told the justices the plaintiffs have no possible hope of collecting the entire judgment. Now, separately, he's also appealing a $49 million judgment in a similar defamation lawsuit in Texas after he failed to turn over documents sought by the parents of another Sandy Hook victim. Business news: Polaris has announced its decision to separate its motorcycle brand, Indian Motorcycle, from the business and sell a majority stake to Carolwood LP, a private equity firm based in Los Angeles. According to the press release, Indian has contributed approximately $478 million to Polaris's revenue over a 12-month period that ended June 30th, 2025. That's about 7% of Polaris's overall revenue in that time frame. This transaction with Carlwood is expected to increase Polaris's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization by about $50 million and to raise earnings per share by about $1. Polaris will maintain an undisclosed small equity position in Indian Motorcycle, but Carolwood will take over the business, retaining more than 900 employees in engineering, design, and manufacturing. As part of the deal, both the Spirit Lake, Iowa, and Monticello, Minnesota manufacturing facilities, as well as the Industrial Design and Technology Center in Bergdorf, Switzerland, will continue as part of Indian.
For how long, though? How long do you give them, Joe? This is always the demise of a company.
Indian? I don't know. The whole demographics of motorcycle riding has changed, and they're with each obituary page they're losing customers.
But anytime a business gets sold to one of these firms, it always seems like it spells the end or a distinct change.
Plus, the damn bikes are getting so expensive that 20-year-olds can't afford them. 30-year-olds can't afford them.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple of Indian motorcycles I'd love to own. A couple of them are really sexy.
They're wonderful.
Yeah. Was it you saying the same thing about the boating industry? That they're just getting so terribly expensive, people can't afford it as a passing.
The boat's more expensive than the truck that's towing it.
Yeah. If I didn't say it, I'd be glad to say that I did say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Do we get to claim that now?
Well, you're talking about boats. Tim Bloom still wants me to tell you he's got these jet skis for sale, on sale, the Kawasaki. Now, I don't know if that one's still... They only had one of the ones that you can go fishing on because it's got the fish box, attached to the rear seat.
Yeah, the live well.
That's it. And that's called an Angler Edition jet ski, the 160. And he also has, I hope, because we haven't received any notice otherwise, and they've got end-of-the-year sale on these, $2,500 off MSRP on the one fishing one. And then you get a free Triton aluminum trailer worth $2,000 to go with it. There's a couple of, at least there was, 25 jet skis and wave runners in stock. You get the free Triton trailer with those. And as long as you're there, it's EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake / Columbus. It's on Highway 97, immediately west of the interstate. A few roundabouts and bing, bang, boom, there you are. Great big toy box store, man. It's fun. And it is the electric bike capital of the world as long as you're there. Motorcycles, scooters, youth recreational equipment. I'm sure the winter equipment is being laid in, but take advantage of these year-end prices on the Yamaha water products. I hope they're still in stock. Tim will call me and tell me if that isn't the case. It's EcoFun Motorsports, Forest Lake / Columbus, right on 97, immediately west of 35. And EcoFun Motorsports in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42, and a very dangerous website. I have to tell myself not to look at it, because if I do, I'd go out there. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
On break?
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Let's talk about our friends at We Are Nuts and WeAreNutsMN.com. GLers, if you're in charge of corporate holiday gifting this year, then listen up. Don't be the person who sends out another branded coffee mug. Be the hero who sends toffee peanuts from We Are Nuts and WeAreNutsMN.com. Locally roasted, family-owned, and dangerously good. Their corporate gift tins are fresh, festive, and unforgettable. Whether you're thanking clients, rewarding employees, or just spreading cheer, they have got you covered. Here's how easy it is, Joe. I know you were asking. Just visit WeAreNutsMN.com, and you can download the corporate gifting catalog that's right there on the homepage. You pick your tins, cashews, mixed nuts.
They got the best cashews. I'm a cashew
and they're the size of jumbo shrimp.
They're just the best.
Also chocolate almonds, hokey pokey popcorn, and even the famous four. Send them your gift list. They'll pick, personalize, and ship each tin, even with custom enclosure gift cards featuring your logo and also your message. And I know you're thinking, well, it's holiday, Reavers. Here's the deal, though. You got to get your order in for Thanksgiving. You've got to order by October 17th. And for Christmas, you got to place your order by November 14th. So visit WeAreNutsMN.com, or you can call them directly at 612-781-6596 today. We Are Nuts MN. Fresh, local, and unforgettable.
Well, it's a sad story. A Florida couple was arrested last week after they dumped their 16-year-old son on the side of the road and said, "You're on your own."
Yikes.
Bradley Leon Guerrero Santos and Rosalina Mendiola Borja.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
I know how you talk.
They're facing child neglect charges. Police in Northport, a city near Sarasota, received a 911 call in the evening of October 1st about a suspicious male who was walking south on the northbound side of Interstate 75. Well, that was the kid left alone. And an officer approached the kid. He reluctantly identified himself as the child of Santos and Borja. He said when he got home from school that day, his parents said they're going to take a trip. But not with him.
Yikes.
That's really
After
sad.
he walked the family dog, he saw them frantically throwing clothes into 2 duffel bags before rushing him and his 8-year-old sibling into the car. Once the teenager was told their destination was either Guam or Idaho. Well, what a distinction. There.
We're going to flip a coin.
Not sure
Guam
yet.
or Idaho.
Could go west.
He said, "I don't want to go," and that's when Santos and Borja kicked him out of the car. But he was told to take care of the house. But that's not, they also left him with guns and cash. They left him with 2 guns, 2 semi-automatic pistols, and cash.
On the side of the road?
Right there. Yep.
Here you go, kid. Good luck to you.
Is there a punchline coming here?
No, I just thought, they abandoned him. He didn't want to go to Guam or Idaho. And he said, "I'm staying here." When they said, "Well, give him a couple guns and some cash and you get the house."
I did have a question until you mentioned that there was an 8-year-old sibling.
Yeah.
You're 16.
You know, Jordy said his family moved a lot when he was a kid. But he always found
Very
it
smooth.
safe.
Very smooth.
For you, those of you watching on YouTube, that was not Joe having a seizure.
No.
That was him
journey.
alerting me to the fact that he needed a rim shot.
Long journey to get there.
Well, I'm sorry if you didn't.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Can we all do that?
offended
Yeah.
you.
It's magic.
Hello?
I don't think you are, and I wasn't.
John's on a delay, I guess.
I was, yeah.
Only because?
Really?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, they come to us all the way from Spain, fellas.
Speaking of hiding from their family,
The traveling linemen. They're not hiding from anybody. You know what? We didn't do a damn thing. 2 things happened on this day. You know why? Because even going back throughout history, because on account, you want to know why? All we ever do around here at this time of year is look at leaves. That's all we do. Hey, we got to, the leaves are changing.
Pumpkins.
We got to do that. Oh, look at that. We might miss that red. Oh, look at that. On this day,
Joe, today is October 14th.
1853, St. Paul workers began the slow process of numbering the city's buildings.
1.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
They began with 20 Robert Street, which was home to Cathcart, Kern and Company's Crystal Palace, a dry goods store. On this day,
wait a second. You know, to back up something that Jesse the Body said, I don't know if it was on Letterman or wherever, but he said the streets in St. Paul were designed by
drunk Irish.
I went looking. MnDOT decided to refer to John Ireland Boulevard as County 33 in a press release. I cannot find a County Road 33. I found it by accident. County Road 33, also known as John Ireland Boulevard, also known as Summit Avenue. Who was the drunk jackass that came up with that idea?
That's a good
Settle on one name and no number. Thank you.
On this day in 1859,
October 14th.
a group of passengers on a horse-drawn cart left St. Paul for Stillwater for the express purpose of watching the leaves change colors.
Wow. They don't even know what comes to them.
Yeah.
Well, that was because that was before GL. That's where you learned the leaves come to you.
On this day,
October 14th.
in 1946, after 126 years of service to the nation, Fort Snelling was closed as a military post and placed under the Veterans Administration's control. Well, I'm going to tell you something. We do have a major sports disappointment on this day,
October 14th.
1965.
Oh, we lost Game 7.
Yeah.
Twins lost Game 7 of the World Series to the hated Dodgers.
Johnny's Dodgers.
Now, just imagine, those were all-day games. We're done on October 14th. We have yet to decide the 2 teams will even play this year in the World Series. What is the last date of the World Series this year? Are we going into November again?
I don't think so, because wasn't that the reason why they moved up the start of the regular season, John?
I don't know,
Okay.
to be truthful.
And didn't Koufax pitch that game at about an hour and a half rest?
Koufax pitched a shutout in Game 5 and then pitched a shutout in Game 7.
Wow.
But we had to take that Lonnie Dinkeltwerp, or what's his name?
Barry.
Dackle Scrooble. What's his the Detroit guy?
Tariq Skubal.
Tariq Skubal. Oh, we're impressed. He pitched 6 innings. He threw 99 pitches. That's amazing.
Hey, Snell went 8 last night. I was impressed by that.
That shocked me that they even let him go that
If he
long.
still pitched for the Rays, he would have been pulled after 7.
5 1/3.
Would you prefer that the pitcher be left in and then just keep throwing?
If he's cruising,
Leave him till his
100%.
arm falls off.
No, it depends. Kenny, I guess the answer to your question is depending upon how it's going.
Yeah, if he's pitching well.
That's why the Blake Snell thing when he was with Tampa made me so angry.
I only asked the question to light Joe up, okay? I wasn't looking for a legitimate
No,
answer.
but
I should know better
You just
by now.
heard it from John. In game, no, were those complete games, John?
The
from,
Koufax ones?
from
Yes,
Co-
both complete game
Game
shutouts.
5 and Game 7, 2 complete game victories that were shutouts. And this fruitcake who pitches for, well, it's not his fault. It's analytics and front office. Scooble gets to go 6 innings.
But could I add one thing to this?
Here
Remember,
we go. It's the middle stall is number 6.
Sandy had to retire at the height of his career in '66 because he basically couldn't lift his left arm
So
anymore.
what? They got their money's worth out of him.
Joe, these guys take it too serious. You can't joke around with these two.
Baseball and music, I will not joke about them.
Exactly.
Won't be silenced.
Thank you, Rick.
Yes.
Don Drysdale, same thing. Wore his arm out, he couldn't lift it.
In '66, Koufax won, I just looked, 27 games with a 1.73 ERA, and then he retired.
How many innings did he pitch?
He pitched, he had 317 strikeouts, so he must have had 300
God
strikeouts.
almighty. And these little men we have today, they just can't do it.
Yes.
They just can't do it. Their little summer frock flops up in their face and says, "Oh, my elbow twinges."
They're wearing girl underpants.
God almighty. You got the best pitcher in baseball right now might be Scooble. Is that a fair statement?
You are killing Reavers right now.
And it was 99 bleeping pitches.
There's steam coming
Let
out of
him go.
Reavers.
Joe, Koufax's last 2 years,
Yeah.
he was in 1965, the year we're talking about, 26-8, and he pitched 335 2/3 innings.
Mother of God. That's when men were men.
In 1966, he was 27-9 and pitched 323 innings.
We haven't even talked about Bob Gibson. Let's throw him in there.
Yeah.
Speaking of elbows,
You know what? A guy I know had a good point. A batter will break Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak before anyone repeats Jack Morris's 10-inning shutout.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
The 56-game hitting streak will be broken before a pitcher pitches a 10-inning game.
He was the last of the lumberjack pitchers, the true men.
Well, and Kelly was smart enough to look at him and say, I think I'll go sit down again.
This year, according to BaseballReference.com, we had a total of 3 pitchers that threw over 200 innings.
How many pitchers pitch complete games this year?
Well, complete games, we have 3 guys tied with 2 games apiece.
Oh, let me add to
That's pathetic.
my Sandy Koufax things then. 1965 and 1966, both years, 27 complete games. Both years.
Oh, God.
Modern day baseball is a bunch of cross dressers and panty waves.
Speaking of sports injuries, speaking of sports injuries, what did Bob Yates suffer from?
Carry Otis elbow.
That's what it was.
Say, GLers. Who'd she pitch for? GLers.
Oh,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that?
You know that this day in history from 1853, the Cathcart, Kern and Company's Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Is that the modern day Cathcart jackets?
Yes.
Oh, no.
No idea.
Carhartt is the modern day one. No,
One too far there.
no, I thought that was.
Anyway.
Yeah, me too. We all thought that. You should have taken that play out.
Yeah, well, I would have left Scooble in and Detroit would have won that game.
And then I would have walked uphill both ways to school. The old school pitcher.
Do
Bring back Satchel Paige.
Do us a favor and hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. We've got a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show. Well,
sometimes
when everything's running smoothly, you can watch the show each and every single day starting at noon, and you can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube, and also search for us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day. And it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com. It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic, and now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh, and he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation, and he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice, and he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, I know you're as big a baseball fan as I am, and the playoffs have been outstanding. Has this been a big boost for the online betting circuit?
Well, I think that the betting market is going to be a little bit upside down at this point in time. The Yankees are out. The Phillies are out. There are many people that are hoping that the Milwaukee Braves, that just shows my age. Milwaukee Brewers are going to be facing the Seattle Mariners in the World Series. Now, that would be a very interesting bet, and I'm not sure how many people have that bet on, whether in the prediction market run by Polymarket or Kalshi or Interactive Brokers or even Robinhood, or how many people have that bet on at DraftKings, FanDuel, owned by Flutter, MGM Bet, ESPN Bets, owned by Penn Gaming, or any of the other sports books. But that could be a very interesting, prediction or bet. Seattle versus Milwaukee. That would actually pit two Seattle teams against each other. The Seattle Pilots, who became the Milwaukee Brewers, versus the Seattle Mariners. Could be very interesting indeed should that happen. But the betting, sports betting, in particular the non-prediction markets, so that'd be the casinos and online sports books, FanDuel, Flutter, or favorite DraftKings, have seen their stocks recently take a hit. And that could, and I emphasize the could, provide opportunity for, some speculation, not only on the playoffs, but further into football season, which has indeed been very interesting, both on the collegiate side and on the pro side. Plus, we now have basketball and hockey starting to heat up, and we'll say plenty of opportunities for the sports books and the prediction markets to make some extra money. But again, these stocks might be on the upper end of the risk category. Now, my risk scale goes 1 to 10, 1 being putting money in a bank or a money market account, 5 being blue chip stocks, and 10 going to Vegas. The speculative category would be somewhere 6 to 7 on my little scale, and could be a little bit higher if you're investing in some of the what I'll call most expensive in the marketplace, companies with little or no earnings, little or no sales, but having a very big concept that is popular. This could run the gamut from the quantum computing stocks to the rare earth mineral stocks, and even some of the, not all, of the artificial intelligence stocks. Though I do not believe that in general, not specific, in general, artificial intelligence companies are in a bubble. But there are that are very, very expensive, and I would avoid those names, in particular companies that aren't making money and have little prospect to do so. Artificial intelligence trade has gotten a big boost with OpenAI, a private spending and borrowing lots of money to partner up with companies like Oracle. Oracle's not going away. NVIDIA, AMD, those companies are not going away. And recently with ARM Holdings, a chip designer. Anything that I'll say right now OpenAI touches has provided a big boost to those stocks. But again, I do urge some caution. Speculative excess, and particularly excess using leverage debt, might be getting out of hand, and it's something I would say be very aware of. In the meantime, we're just starting on another quarter of earnings, with earnings today starting with the banks. Most of the banks did pretty well, but we did see a pullback in some shares like J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, which are Dow members. They had significant pullback. Interesting with J.P. Morgan, which did have to take a little bit of a hit for lending they did to an auto parts supplier, private company that filed for bankruptcy. So J.P. Morgan took a $170 million hit on that loan, but they have done well on their trading. And Jamie Dimon, and this I found very interesting indeed, last week was talking to be cautious about investing because the market could take a tumble soon. Yet this week, he said that J.P. Morgan plans to invest $10 billion in critical U.S. industries. And even more interesting is their research department up their price target on Caterpillar, which would be a critical company, from $500 a share to $650. And Caterpillar is one of the leaders today on the Dow Jones, up significantly versus the bank, J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, being down. But Caterpillar, could be looked at not only in terms of the equipment it sells, but also as another play, artificial intelligence with the building of data centers. Do pay attention. Make sure that you do have some cash on the sidelines. Markets could be, over the next several weeks, a little bit more volatile.
Excellent advice as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.